Hi, thank you for joining. This is Dr. Nigel Brayer with another Roots and Revelations and Chronic Disease Conversations. Today, I want to talk about cholesterol. Um, I've had many questions over the last several years about cholesterol. Is it bad? Is it good? Are statins good? Are they bad? What's the issue? So, I want to touch on a couple key factors. Is cholesterol is a required substance in our body in so much as if we don't consume it, our body makes it. So I like to always fall upon the common sense rule. The common sense rule is the body has more wisdom than the human mind, and it's been going along its path for many, many centuries. Even though our understanding is catching up to a little bit of what nature's been doing for millennia, is it has a lot more wisdom than we do. So let's think about what cholesterol does and why it's important to consider. So there's different types of molecules of cholesterol. There's what's called LDL, that's called low density lipoprotein. Um, Modern medicine has noted it as bad, which of course is not bad, but we'll talk about that. And we've also have HDL, which is called high density lipoprotein. That means its density is thicker. And then there's various subsections of LDLs. There's lipoproteins A and such. So we're going to talk about the generalities today. So what we want to talk about is what role does cholesterol fill in the body? Cholesterol is an insulator and it's a protector and it's a healer. So why does cholesterol even accumulate on the blood vessels? So if you think about cholesterol as a healer, and a component to heal tissue, it is attracted to an area that's been injured. Now the question becomes is why is it injured, which we'll get to in a second. But then let's talk a little bit further about what a statin drug does. So I won't get into the deep mechanisms of a statin, but statins cause the removal of cholesterol molecules within the system. And it's based upon the premise that is if cholesterol is the cause of heart disease and hardening of the arteries, if we get rid of cholesterol, we therefore help reduce heart disease and increase the pliability of the arteries. Now, unfortunately, that is absolutely false. But over the last few years, there's been more and more evidence proving what, again, common sense would tell us is cholesterol is necessary. However, to sell statin drugs, you have to be very engulfed in the idea that cholesterol is the cause of heart disease. One of the challenges people don't understand is as you remove cholesterol from your system, we start to see a lot more other problems related to the important effects of that molecule. One of the big ones is when it comes to brain health, when it comes to nerve health. So we've seen with the advent of increased statin use, more and more increase of destruction of the pacemaker of the heart. The pacemaker is the natural, I'll call it the metronome of the heart, which is busily telling the heart to increase heart rate, decrease heart rate, and such. So, what happens with an ongoing use of statins is it destroys the pacemaker of the heart. We've also seen a lot more increase with what's called neurodegenerative diseases, which are the diseases that are caused by the breakdown of the brain, because cholesterol is essential for proper nerve health and nerve function. It's also essential to help heal and repair linings. So let's talk about linings a little bit more now. So let's think about a blood vessel as a tube or a pipe. So if you have a pipe and you have a pump on the pipe called the heart, as the heart pumps, it's pushing blood through that pipe. But what's very interesting is people think that the only pump for the blood is the heart, but that's not true. There's actually two pumps. And so the second pump is the blood vessel itself. So you think about the pipe is not like a copper pipe in your house, but it's more like a garden hose that's very warm and flexible. So as the heart pumps, the warm, flexible blood vessel has musculature in it or muscles that help perpetuate the blood through the system. So, what happens is when those blood vessels become injured and they lose their flexibility, those blood vessels become rigid. That's why blood pressure is such an important measure, because when the blood vessels are not flexible and they don't help the pump, all of the blood supply or all of the pumping action is required by the heart versus the help of the blood vessels also. So, blood vessel linings become hardened and rigid because of inflammation of those linings. So, the key repair mechanism to repair an injured blood vessel lining is the advent of cholesterol coming in to start to reduce the aggravation or irritation. So, think of it this way: is imagine you slip on the pavement and you scrape your skin and you get a large abrasion. An abrasion is an injury to the outer lining of your body, so your body starts the repair process. Part of the repair process is going to be using cholesterol to help, we'll call it sticking together the torn parts, so that as the cells start to come together, then the repair mechanism can occur. Now visualize that that would be happening inside of your body in your blood vessels. So the question we have to discuss is what would be causing the injury to the, is cholesterol causing the injury or is cholesterol the repair? And the simple answer is the cholesterol is the repair. I like to think of it like an Amish ointment that your mom used to put on your abrasion when you skinned your knee. So cholesterol has been given a bad rap. Now there could be lots of discussion as why. Of course, pharmaceutical companies love to patent things and then make markets for them so that people take it. And that could be a discussion also. However, from a simple standpoint is cholesterol is like the ointment that's designed to repair the injury. So the next question we have to discuss is what created the injury? And the simple answer is inflammation. So what causes inflammation of our blood vessels? And that goes to the deeper topic of toxins, allergies, and lifestyle. So anything that's causing aggravation to your blood vessels is causing inflammation and is calling on cholesterol to come and repair it. Now, when that inflammation is ongoing, means it keeps happening and happening and happening, you can imagine how cholesterol and fatty molecules and calcium will start to pack up around the chronically injured blood vessel. So think of it like a layer upon layer upon layer on top of an injured blood vessel, making that blood vessel thick, making it non-flexible, putting more stress on the heart. So, one of the biggest causes of inflammation from lifestyle is the use of sugar, because sugar is an irritant to the lining, most importantly, the insulin response, and the ongoing up and down of high insulin, low insulin, high blood pressure, or high blood sugar, low blood sugar. So, we want to think about these are the processes that are causing chronic irritation to the linings. And if we want to change our heart health, we want to change our blood vessel health, and we want to change our blood pressure, we have to look at the stressors that are affecting our life. And the three main stressors are physical stressors, which constitute our physical structure, our spine, our nervous system, our posture, our neurological function, our biochemistry, what we eat, what we drink, our hormone levels, and our mental and emotional stressors. So when our body is under stress, it's going to influence our blood sugar, it's going to influence our metabolism, it's going to influence our hormone levels. So cholesterol is not a statin problem. Cholesterol is an inflammation problem. So if we have inflammation, we have to look into the three main causers of stress, because stress is the inflammatory creator and therefore the blood vessel injurer. So, hope that helps bring a little light on the topic of cholesterol. Statins are not the answer to your heart and your blood vessel conditions. Management of stress, diet, and lifestyle are. So, in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.